gonna take a second. All right. So we should be live.
Hey everybody on Facebook, welcome to Coffee and Bullshit number 9 on Instagram. We're here with Robert today from VetPark. So I'll let Robert introduce himself, tell you guys a little bit about what he's doing.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Robert Dabney. I got a project going on. We have a project called VetPark, and what we're doing with VetPark is something unique. We're taking the creative aspects of who we are as human beings, especially us as veterans who've been through some of the world's the most scariest and darkest times, and allowing them to connect with other artists and other creatives to just kind of heal, to receive the therapy, and also create a source of income for them and for their families. And so it's not an overnight thing. It's something that myself and my wife has just talked about and really built up until now. And we're just going to unpack that for you today and let you know what that looks like and how you can benefit from it or be a part of it.
So what was your inspiration to do this and focus on the arts?
All right, cool. So I got out of the military. I was an Army medic. I got out in 2007. And during this time, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had been in for 9 years. And after getting out, it was coming back out into a new world, like trying to really get my feet on the ground and get planted. And so I just started exploring different fields, different things I have always wanted to do. And to shorten the story, I ended up going to college, going to school for theology. Actually, I was going to become a prison chaplain. And it was going well. I loved it. But the signs and symptoms of PTSD began to show up, and just a lot of things I have attempted to put behind me as I moved forward with my life started catching up and started weighing me down, kind of. And my wife, seeing this, told me I should go to counseling. And after going to counseling for about a year or two, honestly, I didn't see any way out at that time. But what ended up happening was I picked up a camera. When I was in high school, I used to like taking pictures wherever we went. I always had those disposable cameras. In the late 90s, we had disposable cameras. And so I used to always have one. I worked at Walgreens. I would always find one that was damaged that I didn't have to pay for and could take home with me, of course. And anyway, I always had cameras and I took pictures. And so when I was in school, I started taking pictures again, not of people necessarily, but just of nature. And I started feeling like, I was back in control of something in my life. Like I knew how to take a picture. And I started just continuing to take pictures. And the more I did that, the more it took my mind off of a lot of the memories I was trying to run away from. Now I wasn't trying to run away from them. I was living my life, allowing them to come. But instead of feeling that hurt and pain, I tried to find a way to bring about some joy from that, if you will. And so what happened was, as I took pictures and I felt down, I wanted to take pictures of things that were beautiful. I wanted to take pictures of flowers, of squirrels, of trees. And I showed that to other people, and other people began to just get happy seeing the pictures I took. And I realized that by me just capturing little moments of beauty and sharing them with other people, I could have an impact on them. And that's what I began doing with photography. So it started with Dabney Photography. And I just wanted to take pictures. The motto was truth and beauty. And the reason I wanted to show the truth of what the world was, but also the beauty that's still in the world. And that's something that that art has just has the power to do. It can show you the truth. And the truth can be very ugly, but it can paint it. A real artist, a good artist, can paint it in a way that inspires hope in spite of what's dark and what's miserable. And so that's what photography did to me. It opened me up to this new world of possibility, this new world of inspiration, kind of. And that's how it started. And it started with me. I did photography. Then after photography, I started trying to write stories. And after writing stories, I started drawing. After drawing, I started playing my saxophone. And all these things were things I did as a teenager. Things that I always like, one day when I get big, I want to do this, this, and that. And what I realized was that those things were giving me joy, giving me opportunity to heal as I was doing them. And I started telling other vets, man, you should go draw, you should go sing, you should go do art. And it's like, no, you're stupid. And so, and I get it, because it wasn't framed in the right way. And so now what I'm doing is, instead of just going to say, go draw, I am finding different therapists and different artists and different musicians that know about the benefit of music therapy and know about the benefit of art therapy and how to use it in a way to help people heal. And I'm trying to connect veterans with them because, yeah, we can go to the VA, we can take the medication they want to give us, we can go and talk to people, and that helps. But what has helped me more than anything was that creative outlet, finding the outlet and being able to pour myself into that. And just being able to get veterans connected with those individuals who can take them down that path of healing using art is what we really want to do with VetPark. But that's not cheap. It's not something that's easy to do. A lot of these specialists our insurance don't cover them. The VA can't provide them. And so once again, we as veterans find ourselves trying to use the methods they can provide for us while still hurting. And I think that with what we're trying to do with VetPark is bringing others into this fold to be able to receive that benefit of artistic and creative therapies and arts and things like that. And coffee is one of them. Like I was telling you earlier, when I first learned the depth of coffee, like it's more than just a cup of coffee. It starts somewhere, usually outside of America. Mm-hmm. And as I learned about that and started seeing, I saw that if I really wanted the freshest cup of coffee, what I would have to do is roast the beans myself. And I tried to do that for a few months, and it worked out, but it was just a little bit too much work. But in that too, I found healing because it took my mind off of the other memories, and it gave me something to focus on. And trying to learn how to roast a bean and taste a cup of coffee when it was done provided me like just an outlet. And so that's what I'm doing to try to help veterans find their outlets, whatever it may be, whether it's walking in the woods all by yourself at night or whether it's singing in a choir. Like I want veterans. There's some people in New York that is using ballet for veterans with trauma, TBI, PTSD. It's the 12 Studio Dance Company. I share a lot of his things on my Instagram page. But that's someone who has found something that helps him heal, and he's using it in a community where we often wouldn't think about veterans and ballet, right? This is two different worlds for the most part. But those who are brave enough to at least try it are finding healing in it. And that's something unique. That's something that the world isn't seeing. And I want not only him and his company to get recognition for it, but I want other veterans who may also be able to heal their way to know that that's out there.
Right. There's something about the arts that can help heal, different veterans and different things. It's just, like some veterans like to go shoot their guns.
Yes, that's another one.
That's another
yes.
one. Drawing, I guess I do a lot of stories in my head and don't really write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. I doodle a little bit here and there, so, help get my mind. Doing the coffee here, just getting stuff off my mind. So you said you played the sax.
I did, alto saxophone, yes.
Brian, didn't you play the sax?
Played the alto and the bass.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
15, 20 years.
Yeah. So
I think it was interesting, though. One thing that kind of struck me is you said you started taking pictures again, and it gave you opportunity to kind of like feel like you were in control of something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an interesting approach that most people don't kind of think about. That veterans deal with when they come back is that lack of control and getting wrap your hands around something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. I never thought about that from a psychological perspective. That's how you come back feeling that way, and not understanding that. So I think that's something realistic. I'm guessing, having the experience that you do as a veteran, that's a great way to be able to connect with other veterans. And most people who try to help veterans don't understand the experience and don't understand maybe that's how they're always feeling. Mm-hmm. I think maybe it's why it's hard to get some veterans to come and participate in a lot of programs. Mm-hmm. Right? Even the organizations that are specific for veterans, the Legions, the VFWs, it's hard to get people to come participate.
Yes.
I think I don't know if it's, I'm not a veteran, so I don't know, but I imagine for my dad coming back, he didn't want to be part of the Legions or the VFW. He's like, that part of my life is over. Mm-hmm. Right? I want to be done with it. That was it. He didn't want to be around a bunch of other people who were feeling the same way I think he was.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like, if you're feeling like there's no control, it's chaos, then go around and be around a group of people who are feeling the same. I think that's how, until you go take part in these organizations, I think that's how you feel. I'm sure that probably some of the pushback you're going to experience, like, I'm going to be around more guys who are feeling the same way as I do, so it's bring chaos to chaos, right? They don't understand that this is getting away from it. Mm-hmm. Right, so I think that's important for people to understand is it's not that. It's getting people who, I think it's amazing, like you made a hell of a transition to come from this and build it to what you built it. Mm-hmm. So it's getting other guys to understand it's not adding to the chaos, it's coming to understand guys who figure out ways to deal with it.
Yeah. And as Sal was saying earlier, he has a creative aspect as well, and one of the ways we're able to enjoy his creative aspect is through the commercials you all do. I know that you all
well, that's kind of both of us.
That's good. Well, good. Yeah.
Creative, cause,
yeah.
You know, I can't come up with all the ideas.
Yeah.
Both of us.
But I know you all do, and I appreciate seeing them because you are like putting something out there that wasn't there before. And many of us as veterans, we have very unique experiences that our neighbors cannot understand, and we're able to take those experiences in some way and put them out there to produce something that wasn't there before and help those next to us to know just a little bit more about what we've understood about life and what they can gain from it as well.
We have a little more dark humor on some of our stuff, you know. I mean, we can make fun of the other branches and
definitely,
you know, still love each other like brothers and sisters. And you know, I mean, when you're talking about photography, I mean, when I went back to college or community college, that was one of the first courses I took was photography. Even though I did a lot of photography in Korea when I was stationed there, you know, take my own pictures and then develop it while I was there in Korea, and then I kind of wanted to expand it. So when I got out and go to the community college here and did all that, and my stuff was never really that great.
Yeah, okay.
As some of my fellow students, or not students, I was never a teacher.
Right, yeah.
You know, I always have not the greatest pictures, but some of the funniest ones.
Well,
you know,
yeah, that works.
Some scared people.
But we need that. We need the different perspectives. And the outlet. And so one of the things I haven't mentioned yet is the way we are essentially doing this. A lot of programs that are built for veterans are built from the nonprofit perspective, and that has worked up to this point. But today, as we see in 2020, one thing that hit America really hard was, we know COVID-19, and everything stopped. And so to create another veteran organization by asking people to give of what they have is not the savviest business move, I think, when actually trying to build something. And so what we at VetPark, and I say we because I do have a Chief of Operations Officer, Juan Cañez. I was trying to see if we can get him on here today. But he will be introduced through our VetPark page. But we are setting up to be we are a for-profit company, and what we do that's different from other veteran-run support organizations is we supply the community, the people, with things that they're already paying for. Meaning, they want to go see a show, they want to hear music, they want to listen to singers in a nice, quaint environment. VetPark hosts those type of events. We put on concerts, we put on small plays, we'll put on Cañez. He's a big car guy. He's from Arizona, and he loves cars, and so he's already planning a car show. And so as soon as the world opens up again for movement. And so these things will be events, opportunities for the community to come out and get things they're already receiving. But now that they're doing it, they're spending their money with an organization that they know is helping veterans heal. That's our motto, helping our heroes heal. And so what VetPark is not only a platform for veterans to connect and to get involved with different types of therapy, but it's also a way for the American public, those who are veteran supporters, to support us by enjoying themselves anyway. One thing that Cañez and I are consistently saying is that we party with a purpose, meaning when we put on a show, when we put on an event, those who come here are having a good time. They were going to do that anyway on that Friday night or that Saturday night, but now they're doing it with a purpose, and they can go home even knowing that, oh, I got a good comedy show and I'm helping veterans like get the help they need. And so that's the real push, the real drive, the unique value proposition that we are offering, because I know that people want to help. When people, one thing that has been a part of my story, I got out of the military in 2007, and like your dad, 2007 all the way up to about 2012, the people that I met never knew I was in the military. There was no hint of me being a soldier. And because I was like, all right, that's who I was, I'm not going to get stuck there, I'm going forward. But it caught up with me still. And so now, instead of trying to leave that behind, I recognize that I got to take that with me and heal the parts that need to be healed and go forward. And in doing so, I'm finding ways to help others heal as well. And that's the message really I want veterans to know about, that there is healing. And when we do come back together, it's like a muscle. I like working out, and
No.
the way, yeah. But the way once I understood the purpose of breaking the muscle down, working out changed to me, because the point is to break whatever muscle down as much as you can break it down. And when it comes back together, the fiber said last time he did 10 push-ups and it killed us. So this time we're coming back together even stronger, and he's going to need to do at least 12, right? And so the muscle gets just a little bit stronger, and then I do 12, and now it's broken down again. It's coming back. He wants to do 15. And so the way I see veterans now is we went through hell on earth. We literally lived through some of the worst things that we could ever dream or imagine. We see things, we remember things, and we deal with things on a daily basis that people outside of us, outside of our community, can never imagine. So it's one thing for us to remain in that brokenness and in that hurt, but it's another thing to come back together and get strong, just like that muscles, because now, just like the muscle do, because now we're that much stronger and we're able to help our communities more so than we could if we hadn't have went through the things that we went through. And that's, I think, the more veterans begin to understand that, the more we may have hope that there is a possibility for us to heal, and that there is a possibility for us to be the change that we know we need to see in the world. I'm watching, and I see a lot of veterans, man. We know the cost of freedom. We know the cost of democracy. We know the cost of what it means to live a good life here in America. But we aren't able to be in those leadership positions a lot of the time because of what we went through. And so we just kind of sit off in the sideline and say, I've been hurt, I did what I can do, and I'm just going to ride the rest of my life out. But what I'm saying is like, hey, veterans, let's get up, let's get healthy, let's get better, because our neighbors need us right now. We know what war looks like. We know what hell looks like, and we don't need to see that here in our own front. And if we can come back together and be who we were made to be, going through all our training, going through all our conditioning, going through everything that we experienced, then we can be a real help to our communities. And that's the only thing I'm pushing. This is for us, essentially for America, because we need leaders. We need leaders every generation. We need more leaders. Yeah.
Right.
I drank some coffee and it's really good, and my mouth is just going now. So forgive me, man.
I think it's really good. I think it's awesome that you found the inspiration, you turn around and try and help other veterans do it.
Mm.
And you have a great perspective. I think it's really hard to turn around and confront things that are behind you, right, and take it head up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it sounds to me like you've learned over time that was the better solution than leaving it in the past, right? I think that things happens a lot, especially veterans. It's very hard to find the right help and find someone who can connect with them. Yeah. The funny thing is, like, when our people come on it, look at our shop. We have other veteran-owned businesses. We have lots of other stuff here. A lot of creative stuff. We have regular jewelry. We have Patriotic Frog, who makes this awesome table. It does the wood carving.
Yes.
Another makes the birdhouse. So there's a lot of creative outlets in here from a lot of veterans that are creating stuff. So I think it's an awesome thing to tap into.
Mm-hmm. One thing that's missing, is not missing, but is for us to realize that those things that are giving us healing can also feed our families. And so you mentioned Patriotic Frog. We did a giveaway with him, a raffle with one of his tables. Our friend out in Portland, Oregon, she won it. I can't think of her name now, I'm sorry. But she's out in Portland, Oregon, and the support and the feedback she gave to my wife and I about what we're doing and how much it meant to her and her boyfriend or fiance, I don't remember, sorry. Is like, it's been really, really helpful, and just getting that feedback from her was like inspirational. And so what they helped me see was like Patriotic Frog, he makes these grenade-shaped tables, he does all these things, and people enjoy his work, they enjoy what he do, and they're willing to support him because he provides them with quality things. But what they don't realize is that they're also helping our man at Patriotic Frog heal, because he uses this as a means to heal. He uses this as a means for him not only to become back into the man that he knows he is, but to also provide for his family, which also helps. And so when we come together and are able to support these veterans that are using artistic outlets for themselves to heal, we're also then providing for their families as well. And now those vets don't feel as if they can no longer take care of their families because of the sacrifices they gave at war. And so that's the whole thing, man. I'm seeing guys around me like do magnificent things, but the support is spread. It's like a shotgun. It's spread everywhere, so many different places. Everyone's supporting, but it's not helping us in the way that we need. And so that's one of the things that we as VetPark is creating that network of veteran-owned businesses and creatives, and bringing us together so that we can help each other eat.
Yeah, well, you're talking about that stuff, PTS and flashbacks. All of a sudden I started having flashbacks of the chow hall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If they never had a chow hall food, they wouldn't know. And it's all right. I actually fell in love with it, man. I fell in love with chow hall food. I fell in love with MREs.
Yeah.
Food was food.
Chili mac was probably one of the best things I always liked.
Yeah. It didn't sit well with my chest, my heart, man. But yeah, it is good, man. And I love my cooks. So in the Army, like one of the people you make friends with is cooks.
Cooks.
Because you never know where you're going to be at, but they always have food and they know how to cook it.
The cooks, the supply guy, the
medics. You always want to be cool with the medics.
Trust me,
because we can miss a stick on purpose and still, it's all right. Yeah, it's good.
Remember when you used to do during the classes, because since I did the combat life saver, combat life taker.
Yeah.
You do that, wrap the thing around, and we always had the one guy who would take it, your bag, and throw it. And if that thing didn't stay on, it came off. You didn't.
Wow.
So you always had to make sure everything was taped right.
Yeah.
And then he would take it and throw it.
The IV bag.
Yep.
And if it wasn't taped right, it would come out. Yeah. No, I wasn't that brave because I'm not the biggest guy, and I'm not afraid of people, but a lot of the infantrymen and tankers, they were big dudes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, I want to get on that side of the gun, man. Yeah. So I didn't do that, and I'm glad I didn't. But yeah.
But that was just we probably wouldn't do it on the real person.
No, okay,
during testing, when you had to do the training and stuff like that, the guy would do that.
It had to be secure, and I get it. And that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Just don't mess up.
Yeah. Make sure you got your flash. Right? Is that what we call it?
Inside the flash inside of the IV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. I do miss those things.
Learn about sucking chest wounds.
Yeah.
Tourniquets and
all those, CLS.
Yep.
And so we still have that. This is deep inside, and if you ever need to use it, I'm sure it'll come back. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So one thing, tell everybody what your website is, because when they reach out.
So right now our website is www.vetpark.com. It's a one-page website with our who we are, and we have some lapel pins if you'd like to support in that way. But we're primarily using our Instagram page, which is at VetPark, as our headquarters, as our main office. That way myself and Kanye can communicate with those that we're interacting with, and anytime we have messages, announcements, they come directly through there. And so VetPark on Instagram is the best way to become connected with us and follow us, because that's our whatever we share on Instagram, we try to make sure we share on Facebook as well.
Both, Do you have a Twitter or anything?
I have a personal Twitter, but I haven't set it up for VetPark as of yet, primarily because I've never gotten comfortable on Twitter.
Twitter is a funny.
Yeah, and anytime I do go, it's just so much to ingest, and so I just stay away. But I do want to get on Twitter, and when we do, we'll announce it through Instagram. But Instagram, because of the nature of our business and our endeavor, it deals with art and creativity, and Instagram is built for that, for seeing and the visual culture. And so we just try to take advantage of that.
Awesome. I saw you have an eBay site too. So what are you guys doing with that? What's the plan?
All right. So again, eBay site is called the VetPark Bazaar, VetPark eBay Bazaar. You can look it up at VetPark USA on eBay, VetPark USA on eBay. But what we do with that is, as I've been telling people about what we're doing, a lot of people want to donate money or something like that. And because we are setting this up as a for-profit, I don't want to begin the relationship by asking for things from people. But those that would like something to give, we're offering them an opportunity to give the things that they have around the house that they no longer want, that they plan on giving to the Goodwill, Salvation Army, someone anyway. And what we're doing with those things is selling them on eBay Bazaar. So if you have things in your house that you no longer want, you can connect with us on eBay or on VetPark on Instagram. And just we can talk. We can figure out how to do it from your place. So if you need to get rid of it and it come to our location, we can do that. But we sell those things. We put them on our eBay store, and whatever they go for, they go for. We aren't trying to make a profit. We're just helping you all get rid of things that you no longer want, and it also provides you with a way to donate if that's what you would like to do, so that you can help us kind of achieve our mission of helping our heroes heal. So the eBay Bazaar right now, we've had some T-shirts, a chessboard set. There's always going to be something different on there because it's coming from different people around America, and so I call it a bazaar because you never know what you're going to get. You can't say it's the health food store or this,
right.
because whatever comes, I'm putting up there, and if it only goes for $2, it's going for $2. But it's another way for us to be able to provide and give. We provide another way for people to give and to receive, and so that's the eBay Bazaar. It's VetPark USA on eBay. I think right now there may be. I think there may be only one more T-shirt left. We didn't have that many T-shirts. There were Kobe T-shirts that someone gave me to sell, and I think that there's one left. But outside of that, we're looking for more donations. In that way, if that's something you would like to do, please feel free to connect with us. Even if it's something that you can't ship to us, but we can get pictures, put it up on our website, and arrange shipment. We'll do all that. This is another thing we're doing to try to get the word out and raise capital that we need. Yeah. Yep. And another thing we're doing also is these awesome VetPark wristbands. I brought them for you all. I brought one for you all. I see them do this on TV all the time, so I wanted to do it here. On the front it says VetPark, and on the back it says helping our heroes heal. And so I just wanted to give one to Sal and to Brian.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. And so what I've been doing with those is just walking around talking to people, telling them about what VetPark is doing, and whatever donation they can give it. And so we're just, again, we're not a not-for-profit, we're a for-profit company, and so it's an exchange, but that's one way that people can support as well, through these wristbands, and we use PayPal, Cash App, all that. They work.
Vimo,
anything, yes.
Smoke signals for payments. I don't know. There's so many
Exactly.
things. But what we'll do too is, for the person that gets the trivia right, I'm going to put this in there for you guys.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we can spread the love around to everybody.
And then we'll make a donation to VetPark from the eBay site too today and do it to the podcast.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
For yourself there on eBay.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So if you like our coffee, go to VetPark, go to their eBay site and go bid on our coffee, whatever we give. We'll put together a nice package for you guys. So we were helping raise some money.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And when did you join the Army?
I joined the Army in 1998. I graduated high school in May. I was in basic training June 23rd, 1998, and I grew up in Memphis. So we started over. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's not the worst place in the world, but it was the hood, and very similar to like parts of Chicago and things. And so just growing up, trying to stay out of trouble as much as possible, and not put myself in a position to not be able to have a life after high school, essentially. And it worked. It happened. I had a strong family around me. My dad was with me, and they kept me out of trouble. And as soon as I got an opportunity to leave the house, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to college. I knew that, but I didn't really know what else to do. So I joined the Army. It wasn't at the time. It wasn't a very like patriotic choice. It was like well, I guess this is next. Like, see what happens after this. But I loved it, man. I gained my own identity outside of my parents' house and outside of my community I grew up in. But I also found my wife. I found my wife. We met, and I joined the Army in '98 because I was going to do some Uncle Sam issue me something, but he didn't give me my wife. I got my wife. I joined in '98. I met my wife in March of '99. We ended up getting married in January of 2001, and by God's grace, we're still together today. Like, it'll be 20 years, January 2021. So we have 4 kids and a grandkid together now. So if that's the only thing I got from my time in the military, that was well worth it, right? And so I had a great time. I do miss the camaraderie, and now that I'm finding out that the veteran community still has that camaraderie, and I'm getting back into the veteran community. Now I'm finding out I didn't have to miss it at all, because we're still here. We just don't recognize each other because we have on different uniforms or get inside the boxes that society places us in, and then we can't see each other. But that's what we're trying to do, just break that all down and bring veterans back together, and we can heal together, and we can help the world together, specifically America.
Well, okay, so how would you go play in the big sandbox, or did you?
Yeah. So my first deployment, I did go to Iraq twice. I was a part of the initial invasion into Baghdad in 2003.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a book out called 21 Days to Baghdad. And around day 15, day 16, I'm in that book. The only problem is you can't see me because I'm inside of my vehicle. I was a medic, and so we had vehicles that, at the time, a tanker was dehydrated, I think. And we moved to inside, and I was getting them hooked up with the IV. But my soldiers, those that were there to help me and protect us and help us move forward, was outside of our vehicle smoking or playing with the Iraqi puppy or something. And they ended up being in the book of 21 Days in Baghdad. So I'm in there. I'm just inside the vehicle working. I'm doing what I was supposed to do.
I'm working. Everybody else was playing around.
Yeah. I was doing what I was supposed to do, saving lives, and they outside pointing at a puppy. But the world saw them in combat, and that's cool. I'm happy for them. I just whatever. I don't hold any hard feelings toward that.
Why did you end up being a medic? Did you have an idea that before you went in, or
not at all, brother? Not at all. What happened was I just wanted to go to the Army. I knew I didn't. My dad was a tractor trailer mechanic growing up. I knew I didn't want to be a mechanic. I just saw him working in ways that I didn't want to work. So I knew that. And then I also knew that there was other things I can do besides infantry or like fighting. I knew that there was real jobs, and maybe when I get out, I could get something good.
Right.
So I was very like kind of stern on not wanting to go into infantry. And I thought about becoming a cook. Then I heard that they work like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, that's not for me. And the recruiters are very savvy and charismatic people, and the guy said, I know what you want. He said, I'm going to put you in a hospital. There's females there, there's air conditioning, and you'll never go to war. Like, and so that was it.
I think that's every recruiter's famous words, like, you'll never go to war, right? That's like I think it's on the card when they're talking to you. It's like, don't forget to say, you'll never go to war.
You'll live in these great buildings.
Do you like beaches?
Yeah, beaches.
There you go. Yeah, sand.
Private Benjamin. That's I remember.
Yeah.
Man, I never worked in a hospital a day in my life until I got out the Army. Like, I never worked in the hospital, man. I was with infantry, with tankers, with MPs, and with infantry again. All mud and dirt and dudes. And so, but I found my wife.
But there was air conditioning right out there in the field in Iraq. Right?
The air conditioning came in Grafenville, Germany when it would get 60 below zero.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the air conditioning. Then the heat is in Iraq. Yeah, and 120 above. But God blessed me with my wife at that time, so the fact that I never worked in a hospital is probably good.
Was she in the Army too?
No, so my wife is a German citizen. My first duty station was in Friedberg, Germany. Those that have been to Germany, especially in the Frankfurt area, is nothing but party. I was only an 18-year-old kid, didn't know anything about life. I went to Germany, started partying, started drinking or things like that. Yeah, you can be 18 and drink in Germany. So that was very nice, and I met my wife, and we went from there. So she was a German citizen. In 2001, I got stationed in Colorado Springs and Fort Carson, and she, we had to get married to stay together, and that's how that happened. And it's been so far happily ever after.
That's awesome.
And so she's a German citizen. She goes back and forth to Germany. Her mom comes over a few times a year or every so many years, and that's how that happened again. And we have 4 kids now and a grandson.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm feeling a little bit more mature than most.
Well, you start getting this grade from the kids.
Yeah, that's right. And we earn it. That's the thing. Like my sons, they try to. At one point, they lost it now. They tried to make fun of me because I started having gray hairs. And I was like, yo, I earned these. Until you get these, you can't talk to me. These cost money. Well, it cost parts of me.
Yeah.
And so I earned them, and I'm going to wear them proudly. I'm not going to die. Yeah. But yeah, that was it.
Wow. So not only got an education, became your own person, got your identity, got a wife, a life.
Mm-hmm. And then once I got out, I didn't know who I was though. Like not in 2007, it was like since I was 18 till I was 27, I was a soldier, I was a medic, I was a hero in some people's eyes. I was everything. But then getting out of the military, they give you the thing that I wanted so bad, my DD-214, and then they're like, all right, we're done with you. Yeah. And it's like, oh, what about I thought I was a hero, or I thought America, no, yes, thank you for your service. And that's where it kind of stops at. And then it's like, wow, now I'm out here in the real world, and what do I do now? And so I got out of the military. I planned to become a police officer. That was my first plan. So before I got out, I applied for the Memphis Police Department. I started getting ready for that. And I had a cousin. I have a cousin who is a police officer in Memphis. And he talked to me. He was like, "What do you want to do? This, and that." And he was like, "Oh, you really want to help people, huh?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I don't know if you want to come here." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "We all come in wanting to help people, but you see some stuff in the streets that kind of harden you, and it becomes more so about saving your life and the lives of other people instead of helping. And if you want to maintain that helping mindset, I don't know if this is where you want to come." And I thought about it, and I understood, and I knew what he was saying, and I knew it was true, that just like the military hardened me in ways I wasn't prepared for, I'm sure working day in, day out in the streets will harden me in ways I won't be prepared for as well. And I didn't want to give up that part of me because I knew that was unique, that I'm a helper. I knew that my whole life. I loved helping. That made me feel good because I was helping other people. So I knew, I didn't know if I would fit after all unless I had to kill that part of me, kind of. And so I thought about it, and I said I'll give it some time. So the night before I was supposed to go and do the physical portion of it or whatever, I decided to push it off for a little while and just to see what happens. And so I ended up working at an electrical company, becoming an electrical engineer. Not electrical engineer, an electrician. I was an electrical apprentice, and I did that for 2 years. And during those 2 years is when one of the elders at my church, who knew me as a child, saw me as a teenager, and now saw me as a man, asked if I would come with him to the prisons just to tell my story about how I went to Iraq. And I was just getting back into church at the time, really. And so he wanted to kind of just mentor me. That's what he did. He mentored me. And he took me into the prisons, helped me meet some of the inmates. I started learning their stories. I started learning that they were just people just like me. And there was a lot of similarities between the inmates and soldiers. Like, it's like a lot of similarities as far as the populations we come from, but also the need. Our lives are very controlled once we get inside of the system. And so I was able to identify in some sort of way, not but still able to identify and connect with them in that way. And I just fell in love with that. That was a helping part of me coming out again. And I was like, I want to be a hospital chaplain. And so I was like, I'm going to go to college to become a hospital chaplain, and then I'll be happy. And so I went to school. I went in Chattanooga's a Christian university called Southern Adventist University right outside of Chattanooga. I went there, my wife and I. She was pregnant with our 4th kid at the time. We left Memphis, where I got out, and 2 years later now we leave in Memphis, going to Chattanooga. I did that program. I finished it in about 3.5 years, theology program there. And at the end of that time, when it was time to start looking for a job again, we didn't know if we wanted to go back to Memphis or go somewhere else, so we were just looking. And someone came up to the school I was at, from Florida, to interview people for potentially becoming hospital chaplains. And I didn't want to do it. But my wife was like, "You don't know, you don't have a job, we need to eat. So maybe just go and see what it's like. Maybe you'll like it just as much." And I went and talked to the guy. He didn't tell me much about hospital chaplaincy. He told me more about, he just really asked more about me and found out my characteristics and personality. It's like, "You'll be perfect for chaplaincy," and I believed him. And I was. I ended up going to Florida for a year. They had an internship program for those that wanted to become hospital chaplains. So we moved down to Orlando, Florida, did that for a year as a hospital chaplain. Once I finished with that, they offered to pay for my graduate degree for Master's of Divinity, because that's one of the requirements to being a hospital chaplain. And so they moved us up to Michigan for me to go and get my master's degree in Divinity in Berrien Springs, Michigan, right outside of St. Joe, Benton Harbor, in that area, Andrews University. So we went there, and we lived there for 3 years. And then once we finished, the hospital system that sent me there has 4 hospitals in Chicagoland. They're part of the Meta Health Network now. Okay. And so instead of going back to Florida, I interviewed for the hospitals here, and there was a position open here in Chicagoland. And that's how I ended up in Chicagoland now in 2020. And so in 2017, when I graduated from graduate school, I went straight into Meta Health Hinsdale, out in Hinsdale, and worked there in LaGrange, Glen Oaks for about 2.5 years. And what began to happen was I began to find myself in that dark place again, and I didn't know why. But as a chaplain, one of my main responsibilities is being with those that are going through trauma, going through heartache, going through pain, and helping them walk through that pain, not taking them out of it so much, but walk through that pain, because it's a part of the growth process. And so that's what I learned to do as a chaplain, and I did that for 2.5 years. But it began to take an effect on my own mental health. I always found myself being depressed again and down and sad and crying and doing all of this stuff that I didn't know why. And so in my mind, I was doing something that came easy. I was helping people in a way that I wanted to help them, but it was hurting me. And what happened was I decided to resign in January of this year, January 2020, January 6th, because I wanted to continue on as a chaplain, but as soon as the new year came, I went back to work expecting something different, and there was nothing different. And I just foresaw the entire 12 months being the same trauma that I just went through the previous 12 months, trying to be okay. And I just knew I couldn't do it anymore without damaging myself or my family or my home or my career even, because I was ready to lash out at anybody that said hi at the hospital, and that's just not the place to be a veteran. You don't want. I've gotten in trouble a few times at the hospital being a veteran in this public place. It doesn't work, man. They don't like veteran type of attitudes, I think, and I get it. It's not the place for it. But I needed to. I resigned and just didn't have a job. Didn't know what I was going to do. I knew that VetPark was something I was pursuing anyway, but now it's like I guess I'm putting everything into this to help it come up, and that was actually the best thing to happen because I had time to really think and heal. And as I began to heal, I saw the relationships I had built, the things I had done in the past concerning VetPark and my own life started to come together in a way that provided an opportunity for me to feed my family. And so I was like, well, if I can bring all this together and that feed my family, now I'm doing something that heals me and feeds my family in the same way that I'm trying to help the veteran creatives heal and feed their families as well. So that's how VetPark really started to take effect, so much so in 2020. And I know it's been a hard year for a lot of us in many different ways, and us, my family as well. But one of the blessings of 2020 that has come out for me is that, and the fact that I stopped in January and COVID hit in February and March, that really told me that I got out at the right time, because I wasn't well mentally in January. I wasn't okay, and if something like COVID would have hit while I was still there, I don't know if I would still be here today, because I was weak, and I knew that, and that's why I was like, I need to go. And so the fact that I bowed out at that time and then COVID hit and everything stopped, and that provided me an opportunity to heal in peace in my home. I didn't have to go out and act. I didn't have to go and be friendly to people I didn't feel like being friendly with. I just sat in my pain, but I began to heal in that pain as well, because I started drawing again and writing again and doing things that brought me joy. They often say do things that bring you joy, and I didn't understand that the joy that I was feeling was also helping me to heal inside. And that's now what I'm trying to communicate to people. That joy you feel, that's healing actually, and so when you find things that you can do that's helpful and not harmful to you, that does bring you joy, do it as much as you can, because without you even realizing it, you're healing. And so that's how we got here with VetPark so far.
Did you find anything with the VA help you at all during your time? I mean, counseling or? So, yeah, that's a good question, because there's a lot of vets have that question, right? I started counseling in 13 or 14, when my wife first told me that I needed to see somebody. I listened to her, and I went and I started counseling, and honestly, a lot of that, what did help was the Prozac. After starting to take so much Prozac, I was like, okay, I feel better. That did help. I'm sure the conversation, the talk therapy I had helped as well. But I really didn't start to feel as if I was healing until I met my counselor here in Illinois. She works with the vet center. Yeah, the vet center. In Aurora, yeah. And her format of therapy, her format of talk therapy and things really helped me begin to see how I was hurting myself. And so I said that to say that three counselors wasn't the best for me. It was like the fourth counselor I had that, okay, now I'm feeling, now I get it. And maybe it was the counselors, or maybe it was me just not being ready to heal. Sure. But for whatever reason, because I kept going back and looking for somebody that could talk me through my mess. And so now the vet center, I go to the vet center in Aurora, and my counselor there, I've been going with her since I moved here in 2017, so it's going on 3 years now. And I've built that relationship and that trust with her, that I'm willing to be honest with what I feel and what I think, and not feel judged or as if
they're gonna shut down the
Well,
world
yeah.
around me.
Well, you know, like most veterans that speak to the head doc, I don't know, that's
Mhm.
what I call them, right?
Yeah.
And I speak to mine. And, you know, there's times where I really don't say much about it. I'm having a good day, you
Mhm.
know. And I know he wants more in-depth stuff. I know
Yeah.
that. And sometimes I really don't say it. Maybe once in a great while I'll blurt out something. But, you know, I guess it's not a feeling of trust, but just
Mhm.
just haven't gotten there yet where I
Yeah.
want to spill everything.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, you probably don't sleep very good at night either.
Yeah,
Right?
I've gotten better. I found ways, but yes, I'm with you.
Right. And so, you know, I mean, it just takes time to heal. And, you know, being around other veterans, doing this, still, you know, shoot, I talk to Brian here more than I talk to anybody else in the family.
Mhm.
At least once a day we talk.
Mhm.
I gotta imagine for you guys, I'm not interrupt, but sometimes it's gotta feel pretty lonely that you don't have anybody else that understands where you're coming from.
Mhm.
Right? It's like I don't want to tell anybody this.
Mhm.
One, I think a lot of guys feel like it's a sign of weakness,
Mhm.
right? I don't want to
Exactly.
tell you. I don't want to tell you how weak I am.
Yes.
Right.
That's the
and I
thought.
think that's the hardest thing for most people to overcome when it comes to counseling is it's not a weakness. It's a strength that you have the courage to come and say,
Mhm.
"Hey, I'm not okay right now."
Mhm.
I think that's one of the hard things for people to overcome.
It is.
Right. And that's probably why a lot of times it takes 2, 3, 4 counselors. Get that person you're comfortable with saying,
Mhm.
hey, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And for all of us as men, whether soldiers or not, we're all taught, like, you're tough, you're not weak,
That's
right?
right, yeah.
No matter what,
All
nothing
together.
affects you. So I understand, like,
Probably goes the same with the women, too. You know,
Yeah, sure.
they joined the military and they've seen so much, and they
Mhm.
could be other traumas that has happened to them.
Mhm.
I mean, like it or not, there's probably some of them that do get raped.
There is,
I-
yes.
I-
Yes,
and, you know,
I know.
and it's a very sad thing in the
It
military
is.
when it does happen.
It
you
is,
know,
yes.
it's, you know, just look at the case in
Fort Hood.
Fort Hood, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
it's horrible, man. And it's scary to know that. I won't say scary. I was I think blind to what really could happen. In my mind as a teenager, like, oh, she, whatever, you know, like he's just flirting or he's just being whatever. But
Right.
in real life, though, things are happening that I was choosing not to see, and so that is what hurts me. Like, I'm again a small dude, but I never liked other people being bullied or taken advantage of. And anytime I could help, even if I may not help much, but I'm gonna help. You stop being taken advantage of, and just to know that things like that take place where I am or where I was, and without being aware of it, it hurts me to know that somebody that I was friends with or called my battle buddy was being hurt, and I was right beside them and not helping.
Yeah.
And so, however I can like support now is what I want to do, because these are things that won't stop until more and more people start saying, "Hey, it's not okay." Then we know it's not okay, but sometimes it just takes people being loud and saying, "No, this is not okay.
Right.
You have to stop." And those who are doing it needs to feel the pain that they're inflicting on others.
right. I mean, because it's just like anything else. There's good ones and there's some bad ones.
Definitely,
Right?
yeah.
Any place you go, there's a good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Definitely, it's all over. Yeah, you're right.
Nothing you can do about it.
At all.
I mean, there's stuff you can do.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just saying you can't. Sometimes you just can't really weed out the bad.
Nah, don't be surprised when you see
Yeah.
it. That's the thing for me. I choose not to be surprised when I find out that out of these 10 doctors, one of them was just trying to get money for prescriptions. So they're doing. I'm not surprised anymore. So it doesn't matter what profession, where they're at. Like, there are people in the world, and none of us are perfect yet. And there's places I'm weak at that other people may look at and really hate. But there's other places that I see people like, oh, I hate that they do that. And so what has helped me is learning how not to judge others. Meaning, I see them, I see what they do, and that's what they do. That's what they choose. And I'm a big believer in. A lot of people say karma. I'm a big believer in reaping and sowing. What you give is what you get. Somehow or another, the universe is very smart, a lot smarter than any of us is. And so I've seen those things take place. And so now I'm able to say, I'll do what I can to help, but I'm not going to allow my life to be pulled into your thing in that way. But I'll help, and also try to provide you a way to get out of the situation, whatever you may be in. So it really depends on situations, people, and at the end of the day, I just try to remember that the person across the table from me is a person just like I am. I'm imperfect, and I can assume very likely that they are too, that they're imperfect as well. And we just roll from there, see how our blocks fit together, and start to build. You know.
Has there been any questions anywhere?
No, I haven't seen any questions so far. But we're.
Can everybody? I don't know sign language.
I'm not on Instagram. I don't know if anything popped up on Instagram.
Miss Justine said, "Hi guys, hey guys."
Hey guys.
We're just about an hour in though, so if we're gonna do a giveaway, let's do the giveaway.
Oh yeah, wow, yeah. Instagram's gonna be done in here.
We need a trivia question. I didn't think of one.
You got a good trivia? You know any good trivia?
You gotta know the answer to it too. So if you ask.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't
get to win a bag of coffee, a sticker as always, VetPark bracelet.
Throw in a VetPark bracelet.
What's behind the name VetPark?
So initially VetPark was going to be what Wounded Warrior is, if you are familiar with the Wounded Warrior program. So as I was trying to set up VetPark, it was going to be a place for veterans, a park for veterans to go and have fun together, to enjoy life together, to do things together. And so it was just the idea of veteran parking. And my first slogan was reserved for those who served. So I got a parking sign at home. It says veteran parking reserved for those who serve. And so that was the mission, that was the focus. It was veterans parking reserved for those who served. But after finding Wounded Warrior,
you should be selling that sign.
You should be selling that sign.
So that's why I never said it. This is the first time I said it publicly because that is happening.
We should probably copyright that right now.
Yeah. So that is one of our merchandise that we will be selling.
So as soon as those come out, we'll have them here in the shop.
Yes.
We'll have some of those ads.
And you don't know how it looks, so I love the way it looks. And so that's what I'm doing. But that's how it started, veteran parking. And I was like, okay, what is another way to use that? Because I love the idea of a vet park. And when I think of parks, I think of outdoors, I think of healing. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want it to be. And when people think of vet park, I want them to think of healing, because that's the ultimate goal for us, is to help our heroes heal. And nothing more, nothing less. You may have a good time at one of our shows, or enjoy some of the products that we're able to sell and provide. But the bottom line is that we're helping heroes heal, so that they can come and be the leaders that their community needs them to be.
And so if there's somebody out there who feels like they can help, not just in donations, but with art or connecting with others, is it just best to get a hold of you through Instagram? Yeah,
please. That's the main office. That's our phone number. That's our email. That's everything. Instagram, VetPark on Instagram. It's easier. We're in 2020 now, and I realize that Instagram, Facebook is becoming the offices of tomorrow as far as connecting with the community and the customers. So I'm just starting that way with Instagram.
From our perspective, what help? Would it be like an art gallery, a venue, a theater, something like that?
From your perspective?
No, from other people out there. Like from the arts perspective, they want to do it. What could they do to help you? Like if theater, is that something that you guys need access to?
Yeah.
An art gallery, that's something you need access to?
Thank you. Yeah. So that's exactly right. One thing is I'm trying to connect with other art galleries, business owners, those who are in that creative space, and veteran-owned businesses, because eventually it will come to the point where veteran-owned businesses will be using veteran creatives to market their things, and that's the network that I'm trying to help to facilitate. And so just the business owners is really the ones I really want to connect with, not to get anything from it, but just to find out how we can set up VetPark to be more helpful to you all. And so, for instance, whenever we do have our first event here in Illinois, one of the things that we will have is a stand for coffee and coffee roasting, which will be manned by Gunbarrel Coffee, and you all will be invited there. It's not going to be a charge for you all to be there, and those who would like to take a part of a coffee will be able to do that, or just sample it, or do whatever they like. And so every one of our events will not only be going towards the alternative therapy aspect of VetPark, but also be manned and stationed with vet-owned businesses. So whatever it may be, whether it's a theater or a gun range, it's going to be vet-owned businesses.
It's surprising how many there are of veteran-owned businesses.
Yes, but we're shotgun right now. Yeah. And so trying to find a way to bring everybody together is really what I'm trying to do. Yeah. And it's working so far.
Right. So, any trivia guy?
Man, I'm sorry,
I'm trying to think of one too, but
I'm trying to think of something
we probably should have told you before.
Yeah,
and then we should have probably thought of one before, but
I know
we are hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
If we don't get it done, we'll just double up next. We'll just double up next time.
Yeah. Let's see. I've been watching
the whole history of World War II.
I know that's
the last. How
many U-boats? Oh, well, the U-boats. What was the thing about the U-boats? If anybody.
So the percentage of survival rate?
Yes.
All right. So for the German U-boat sub crews, what was the I guess the survival rate or the mortality rate of German U-boat crews during World War II?
Wow. Yeah.
It's extremely high. You can Google it real quick, find out. You get a bag of coffee.
Why are we not saying the U.S.? Because we were watching a show and that popped up.
I don't know what the stats are.
We were talking about
it was shockingly not good.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like we were just talking about, like, imagine signing up, right? And then, like, you're on this crew. That's your first forward into wars. You're on this crew. These are the odds. These are the odds against you. Like,
Wow.
I mean, I'm glad we won the war, and
Right. Yeah.
Like, I have no sympathy for.
But if you
Nazis,
know it,
but
it's a percentage.
either survival or mortality rate. It's unbelievable. If I don't get
I
it,
think
okay.
mortality rate, if I remember correctly.
Either way, it's both sides, right?
Yeah.
One side.
One side, yeah.
What percentage die and what percentage survive? So, how do you answer that?
So put it in the comments if we only got a few more minutes left.
Hurry up, win a bag of coffee, get a bracelet,
And a sticker.
and then make sure you watch VetPark. What's the eBay site? Tell me.
VetPark USA
VetPark USA.
for our eBay Bazaar.
Go make a donation. Gunbarrel Coffee.
Yes.
Merch.
Check
Coffee
out
will be up
the-
there. Go help support. Do whatever you guys can, please.
Instagram.
Thank you so much.
It's gonna feed his family too. Just
Yeah,
like we do.
yeah. And we'll do it together. That's the thing. I'm a big unifier. I like bringing people together. And,
So do you have any idea, like, when your first event might be? Is there any-
Yeah, right now we're planning. I'm still aiming for Veterans Day, November.
Right.
I'm aiming for Veterans Day. I'm aiming for it's going to be something local here in Chicago. The networking event really is what it is at the Veterans Art Museum in Chicago. A lot of people don't even know it exists, but it's filled with.
Didn't know about it until you said it now.
Oh yeah. It's filled with. Right now, there's a vet from Vietnam who used art as his therapy. He became a teacher, a counselor. He's in his, I think, late 70s now.
70s,
And he just came back from Vietnam, where he went over to represent America to have some kind of talk. But he's used art his entire life after Vietnam to heal. And his show is up in the Veterans Art Museum now, called Back from Nam. And it's just some cool art. You can look it up on Facebook, National Veterans Art Museum, internet, and see that. So that's our first event, tentatively, the weekend of Veterans Day, that weekend. But of course, it depends on how these
If
everything
the governor
goes.
says yes,
Who
no,
Yeah.
roll back stuff.
Yeah, and so Kanye's and myself, if that doesn't start, we are already planning for 2021 now. It's so difficult to plan though, no matter where you are, because you know that